This eco-friendly development targets Savvy Zambians who want to live in a green, clean, orderly but affordable neighborhood. As the Horizon Green Village development was launched, it became clear to everyone who was present that ambience, serenity and class meet affordability at the Green Village. This combination is a rare gem, which is why everyone is now rushing to buy their residence at the Horizon Green Village estate. So don't be left out. Don't wait until it's late. Make that move right now and invest in the Horizon Green Village development in Lusaka City. Call us on 0972 604 614, 0979 888 970, 0779 707 215. Horizon Green Village.
It's Tuesday evening once again. Welcome to Property Focus Radio program brought to you of Horizon Properties, and I'm your host, Donald Zaza. Now tonight on the show, we are focusing on the conversion of customary land to statutory land. But before we get into tonight's business, here's a notice to all clients that have bought land from Horizon Properties. Now, Horizon Properties are committed to delivering five-star services efficiently and effectively to all their customers, and they pledge to place integrity, honesty, and diligence at the heart of their service delivery. However, they advise their customers that the obligation to protect your interests in the purchased properties is solely upon you. They wish to strongly advise that you exercise the following simple due diligence measures to secure your property. Ensure that the property is fenced off at its boundaries to prevent squatters, trespassers, illegal entry, and encroachment by third parties. Inspect the property from time to time, stay up to date on any suspicious developments on the ground. Assign a responsible, diligent caretaker or overseer, preferably one who is a member of the local community, to keep a lookout on the property if you do not intend to commence development immediately. Always consult a registered surveyor or Horizon Properties officers to assist in beacon sitting and boundary verification. And consult a registered surveyor to assist with site beacons and verify boundaries before you commence development on your property. Now ensure that you obtain the statutory approvals before commencement of development works. Now, Horizon Properties will not bear responsibility or liability for any squatters, trespassers, illegal entry or encroachment on a property by third parties beyond the conclusion of the sales transaction. They therefore advise all their customers to exercise and apply the above measures as much as possible to avoid being inconvenienced. We now listen to a presentation by Dr. Sokyo Mbindi, CEO from Horizon Properties.
Good evening, listeners. Welcome to this evening Property Focus program brought to you by Horizon Properties, your expert with a global reach, member of the leading youth capital of the world, and greetings from the Horizon team. And this evening, we are here to put our views to the pending amendment or the ongoing amendment of the Lands and Deeds Registry Act. Its brief objective is to grant the Chief Registrar almost absolute powers to cancel certificate of titles. Horizon Properties is a member of the Zambia Institute of Excellence and Property and Land Developers, and therefore our interest in this amendment bill. We have been practicing real estate, providing real estate services for over 22 years, and therefore competent in the understanding of the consequences of this amendment bill. We are concerned that the pending or ongoing amendment bill of the Lands and Deeds Registry Act, we are very much concerned. Why are we concerned? The reasons why we are concerned, among them one, the reasons for the proposed amendment to grant the Chief Registrar powers to cancel certificate of titles are not clearly stipulated, and the motivation, or indeed the agency, is not known. Number two, the process of consultation, consulting stakeholders, has been inconclusive. And firstly, in such an amendment, you need to involve the stakeholders. I'll give an example. Zambia Institute of Excellence, with over 300 real estate practitioners, was not consulted. It is these over 300 practitioners that interact with the public from time to time on a daily basis, and they are not consulted. I'm not a spokesperson for, I'm not speaking on behalf of Zambia Institute of Excellence, but I'm aware of the fact that they were not consulted. So then, who was consulted? Number 3, all matters of title disputes and contentions arise from issuance of title deeds by the office of the registrar, chief registrar. How then, and how come the registrar now becomes the jury and the judge? This is an issue of conflict of interest, and conflict of interest is an unfair treatment or judgment of matters. Number 4, subsection 1 of section 57A. 57A is the bill. Shifts the significant adjudication of power to an administrative officer bypassing the judiciary. Though the clause aims to address risks of unlawful landholding, its real effect is the weakening of the conclusive status of land titles. It is suffice to note that as far the concern, among them one, the reasons for the proposed amendment to grant the chief registrar powers to cancel certificate of titles are not clearly stipulated, and the motivation, or indeed the agency, is not known. Number 2, the process of consultation, consulting stakeholders, has been inconclusive. And firstly, in such an amendment, you need to involve the stakeholders. I'll give an example. Zambia Institute of Excellence, with over 300 real estate practitioners, was not consulted. It is these over 300 practitioners that interact with the public from time to time on a daily basis and are not consulted. I'm not a spokesperson for, I'm not speaking on behalf of the Zambia Institute of Intelligence, but I'm aware of the fact that they were not consulted. So then, who was consulted? Number 3, all matters of title disputes and contentions arise from issuance of title deeds by the office of the registrar, chief registrar. How then, and how come the registrar now becomes the jury and the judge? This is an issue of conflict of interest, and conflict of interest is an unfair treatment or judgment of matters. Number 4, subsection 1 of section 57A. 57A is the bill. Shifts the significant adjudication of power to an administrative officer bypassing the judiciary. The clause aims to address risks of unlawful landholding. Its real effect is the weakening of the conclusive status of land titles. It is sufficient to note that as far as real estate investment is concerned, security of tenure is a risk that must be assessed, and without the proper assessment of the risk associated with the security of tenure, then the investment fails. Therefore, any threat to the effect of security of tenure is going to affect both the citizens and the foreign investors, and the investment may be reduced. Number 5, the citizens risk, the Zambians risk losing their land due to inefficient communication systems with regard to notifications. If you are sent a notice and you don't receive it, the chief registrar may make a decision to cancel title. By the time you receive the notification, you'll be out of time for it to respond within the 14 days. Therefore, the citizen at risk of losing the titles due to lack of communication or inefficient communication. For example, if a person in Kawamba is sent a notification and does not receive it in time, and is out of time, by the time he comes to Lusaka, he'll find out that the title has been cancelled and been over another person, and most likely that person has defaulted. So it creates an insecurity in the citizens with respect to titles. Number 6, subsection 7 mandates the cancellation of title if the registrar is not satisfied by the response of the title holder in objection to cancellation. Fellow citizens, this provision grants near absolute and uneffective discretion to the chief registrar without judicial involvement. This is a risk and source of concern. Number 7, when it comes to appeals, the aggrieved persons may appeal to the minister within 14 days and subsequently to the court or land tribunal. This framework introduces 2 problems. 1, it politicizes land dispute resolution by involving the minister. A minister is a political figure and is not a technocrat in the determination of land disputes or land rights. How can the minister be now a judge in matters of land disputes? Number 2, it creates procedural delays and the political bias, as the minister is not a judicial authority. Number 8, the chief registrar, as an executive officer within the Ministry of Lands, lacks its institutional and legal capacity to preside over disputes involving allegations of fraud, misrepresentation, concealment of material facts. These are the two determinations that the registrar will have to make for him or for her or the office to cast a title. This approach, this contradicts sharply with the High Court and Land Tribunal, which are constitutionally empowered for adjudication of such matters. The Registrar's Office does not have the systems to adjudicate on such matters relating to land rights, and therefore it will be irregular to grant such powers to the Chief Registrar to adjudicate on matters of land rights. The Land Tribunal, number 9, the Land Tribunal, established under the Lands Act of 1995, is specifically tasked in resolving land disputes. It operates with the legally trained adjudicators and procedural safeguards that the Registrar's Office does not have. So with all these procedural inefficiencies, which don't even exist, how can the Registrar make determinations? It will be risky and to infringe on the citizen's right. Number 10, the Chief Registrar operates under executive control and does not enjoy judicial independence. The Office of the Registrar is not considered mandated to perform adjudicative functions and is not staffed with legal professionals trained to handle contested property rights, and therefore is not suitable and ideal for the Chief Registrar to have such powers to adjudicate on matters of land rights. Number 11. Section 34 limits challenges. This is Section 4 of the Land and Lease Registry Act. Section 34 limits challenges to register titles to specific legal routes, majorly through courts. While Section 57, that is the Amendment Bill, opens the back door through administrative action. Therefore, the bill is repugnant to the land, to the existing Land and Lease Registry Act. And such a rule is background. And actually it's not, the laws should not be repugnant. There's no law that can be created to be repugnant to the existing law. In summary, the amendments sets up conflicting land administration system and creates lack of reliability of land administration system in Zambia, and this affects real estate investment in Zambia, and the citizens in particular are going to be affected because their rights are likely to be infringed upon by the administrative actions or determinations of the registrar. Number 2 here, the ministerial involvement in appeals politicizes land disputes and will not be an incentive to both the local and foreign investors, because security of tenure enshrined in the title will be at risk. Our recommendation is that the land administration system needs to be holistically examined to create efficiency instead of creating further bureaucratic.
You're listening to Property Focus, brought to you courtesy of Horizon Properties. Now joining me in the studio this evening, I have Mary Adrian, who is the Sales and Listings Coordinator. We also have Jerry Katongo, Sales and Projects Officer, and we're also joined by Mutanda Kahuta, Sales Executive, all from Horizon Properties. Gentlemen, good evening to you, and do welcome to the program.
Good evening, Norman. Thank you so much for having us.
Your reaction there to the doctor's presentation again?
Much has been said and the submission has been made. And what I would say is for those that were listening and maybe picked one or two, those that would want maybe to seek clarification on the presentation, those that may want to maybe also present their contributions, what you do is send us an email to info@horizonproperties.com. So the submission has been made and a number of issues highlighted, but we need to hear from you. So send us those questions, contributions, or submissions to info@horizonproperties.com and we'll gladly address those.
Okay. Now, let's talk about farm blocks and maybe as well as agricultural plots. Currently, that Horizon Properties is marketed. And why is farmland still one of the most powerful investment options today?
Okay, so many times on the show, I think I've mentioned and I've made comments to say buy land before people get there, or buy land before people actually get those parcels of land in those particular areas. And so many times I think certain areas are deemed to be cheaper. Others would say no, Akujaland is cheaper. Others would say no, website is dirty. Number of listings available which you can take advantage of. But for the sake of time, we get to bring out a few on this program. Not to mean that this is all that we have, but it's just a fraction of it. So we have 5 acres of farmland in Stumbeko. Stumbeko slightly after Mwembeshi. I'll be a bit brief. But for those that would want to get more details, please do give me a message or maybe call me on the number that I'll be able to give as I bring out these farms. So we have farms in Stumbeko, 5 acres, which are 34 kilometers from, of course, the Mombo Road, on a very good gravel road. And these are priced at only 50,000 kwacha. So 5 acres at 50,000 kwacha. Stumbeko, you use Mombo Road. Slightly after Mwembeshi, you you branch off to the right as if you're heading towards the north. And then on the eastern part, we have 5-acre portions of land, which are in Chinyunyu, 24 kilometers from Great East Road. And these are 5 acres which you take advantage of. The price is only 50,000 kwacha. You can see the pricing, 50,000 kwacha for 5 acres. Go to Shatumbo today, that site, if you have to find yourself a 5-acre, you will not be buying it for anything less than $1 million. It will be more than that. So you have an opportunity to get yourself 5 acres in Chinyunyu at only 50,000 kwacha. Then we also have Chiawa 50 acres, which are actually mentioned. These are near Lower Zambezi. So 50 acres in Chiawa, priced at only 350,000 kwacha. So this is land which has a lot of potential, has a lot of potential for growth in terms of value and also in terms of what you can do with it. We've mentioned, I think, so many times on the show to say the only thing that is blocking the price to shoot, maybe to go 5 times this particular price in Chiawa, is just the road that is not done on Repanzi Road. So right now, people perceive to say, no, I have to go through Chirundu, the distance is long, but the distance is actually shorter. We've used Repanzi Road, and from here where we are, driving all the way up to the farm, we're going to take about 1 hour 40 minutes. And you can imagine when the road is done and the tarmac is all there. It will only take you, let's say, maybe 45 to 30 to 45 minutes for you to get to where this land is. And this land is just after Mikano. The only separation is the hill there. Others would call them because here are the mountains. So this is land which is available, land which is readily available for sale, and 50 acres is only selling for only 50,000 kwacha. If you're someone who would want to get more details, please do give me a call or simply send me a message on 0777-002756. And then still in Chiawa, if you can get 50 acres, we have 20-acre portions. So these 20-acre portions are selling for 160,000 kwacha. So 50 acres at 350. 20 acres at 160,000 kwacha. If you can't get 20 acres, we have 5 acres. You can get them at only 60,000 kwacha. What's important is buy land before people get there. Buy land before the prices for these particular lots get to triple, like I said. And then in Chongwe, we have farms which are 5 acres, 12 kilometers from the Great East Road, in an area which we're calling Bango. So these are selling for 2 prices, 80,000 kwacha and 150,000 kwacha. And then we have farms in Mungure, which are 5 acres. Like I mentioned when I started talking, we have 5 acres which we are selling at only 150,000 kwacha. Mungure, no. 2 or 3 years ago, this is an area where people were buying land for as much as 20,000 kwacha. But go there today, we are selling them at 150,000 kwacha. Others are selling for even more. Others are selling a 20 by 20 at something like 25,000 kwacha. So you can see the difference in terms of the margins of how fast and how quick land can appreciate. Because believe you me, there's no business that you can do that. Of course, you can start with a 10 pin or 20 pin, let's say 2 years ago, that will give you this much this time around, unless something else. And this is an opportunity that you have right now. An opportunity to actually get to own land, an opportunity to actually get to grow your money. So it's not just about going to these fancy places, of course, that you would like to go and spend it right there and then. Spend your money wisely. Get yourself a farm for only 150,000 kwacha, which is, of course, in Mongolia. And then back to Leopard's Road. Since I've spoken about the eastern side, I've spoken about the north side, Mamumba Road, I'll go to, of course, Leopard's Road. So Leopard's Road in Paravana, we have 12 acres of land, which is on title. And to make it affordable to everyone, we've broken it down to 1 acre push pieces of land. So 1 acre at only 280,000 kwacha. This is land which is on title, and it is only 3 kilometers from the tarmac. So right in Paravana, if you can't move the side, can't move the other side, you want to get a big plot where you can build your retirement home, or simply build in the next 2 years. Paravana presents 1 acre portions of land, of course, which we are selling at 280,000 kwacha. Moreover, like I said, we only have 12 acres, meaning 12 plots. So if we delay, all the 12 will be gone. So please come through and get yourself an acre of land in Paravana on title at only 280,000 kwacha. If you want to take advantage of this, please do call me or send me a message or WhatsApp on 0777-0027, of course, 56. And then we have another exciting listing in Chisamba. So these are 5-acre portions of land which are only 9 kilometers from the tarmac, and these are selling for only 100,000 kwacha. So power is already on site in terms of there's network access, it's perfect. So please do take advantage of 5 acres of land in Chisamba at only 100,000 kwacha.
Mr. Zaza, I would like, according to I find this question to be very, very important. So I'd like to reiterate some of the points that he mentioned before he got into the properties that the people can take advantage of. The question that, of course, is why is farmland still one of the most powerful investment options today? Mr. Zaza, my supervisor here, Mr. Mbewe, talked about the multi-purpose use of farmland, which is, of course, rather according your shelter, meaning, of course, residential use. You build your house there and live in your caretaker's houses and so on and so forth. And then the other thing is farming, which you would also say commercial use or business, because farming is a business and that is commercial because that's going to be a way of trade and things of that sort. So that land that you're, of course, getting sheltered on or have accommodation on is also a business. And then the other thing is that while you're doing all of this, you're also practicing land banking. So it's got multi-purpose use. And then the other part, or rather to zoom in on one part of land banking, you see, what you would have seen, especially over time, we have mentioned Silverest, we have mentioned Lilai. I think let us move to Silverest because it's a recent packaging and it is still happening. While you're on the greatest road, you're going to be looking to your left, you're going to be looking to your right, and you're mostly to the left. You're going to find huge parcels of land which are still farming blocks, so to say, Lima farms, Mr. Zaza. And these farms, you'd see they are fenced and vienderera. You see? You can't even start to fathom how many hectares those are. You'd be talking about maybe, Mr. Mbewe, it's obvious Zambo Kamba 500 hectares and more, right? Yes, and these are right along the greatest road. And then you find that my plot marginal 20 by 30, they're 350 and above. Now, Mr. Zaza, when you look into the, what do they call that? The fixed assets or just the asset portfolio of that company now, the biggest thing that they'll have in the asset portfolio, Mr. Zaza, is the land. Not my motor car, they might have the fancy cars or whatever other assets, my fixed and movables and everything. The biggest asset they'll have, Mr. Zaza, under those books, which is going to speak to the value of the company, is going to be the land. And guess what? When they bought this land, Niamey Chabe, where no, my grandfather has land, or rather he has acquired land in Pajovias, it wasn't in Silverest. Lord knows what name that was. Maybe Mr. Mbewe Muzi. Alright, let's just call it in the east. Yeah. My grandfather has got land in the east, it's X amount of land, 1,000 hectares, 1,000 acres, whatever it is. And then they didn't sell, they've just been farming on it and living on this land. And then mind the value of Africa, Mr. Zaza, if they chose to even dispose, not even half, a quarter of that land, they would have sorted out all their problems and even started other businesses. And this is what we're saying. So this very same land that you would buy from, say, Horizon Properties, maybe my 50 acres in Chiawa and all these other areas that Mr. Mbewe mentioned, you see, you're going to have accommodation there. You're going to start practicing your farming, and of course you need to practice this, but if you don't like, or rather it's not your line of business, just fence the land and let it be. If I can't put my caretakers, for example, so of course you're going to be farming, or which is commercial use, or in other words, business. And then there's also the land banking aspect that we've talked about. But then, even in this, while we say you need to use, use farming, or rather farmland for land banking, other than residential, the residential packages are smaller. And then when they do appreciate in value also, but with time, Mr. Zazam Zapezet, much be disposed Gamena Boka 20 by 30. And that 20 by 30 for right now, it's a standard plot size. Maybe in future, say 50 years time, maybe Kazanka maybe Kazanka like a 20 by 10 and whatnot. But right now, that's the standard plot size. So Muzaku Pezegabati, you've only got one commodity to sell. But then if you're having farmland, or you have farmland now, and then say 20 years from now, Kwankala value has to increase and everything, how many 20 by 30s do you have in that place? And also packaging matters, because if you sell the whole lot of the land, whatever amount of it of land it is, say 5 acres, as it is, you will not make as much as you would if you sold it in smaller packages. That's just the way it is, because of course economies of scale, wholesale prices and all of that come into factor. So this is why we say buy farmland. If you're not a farmer, that doesn't need to be the case, but buy the farmland because of size, and then it gives you multi-purpose use, not only multi-purpose use, but at least opens windows of which you can do with it in whatever amount of time that will allow.
All right. If you just tuned in, you're listening to Property Focus Radio program. Let's take a mini break. We'll be right back.
Did you know the city expansion creates land scarcity, which presents opportunities to bogus and fake contracts? Did you know that Horizon Properties has been diligently selling affordable residential plots and farms to the public for over 20 years? Yes, Horizon Properties is a trusted name and the #1 buys partner with affordable residential plots and farms with a track record spanning over 20 years. Remember, buying land from just anyone can be risky. Buy land from the people you know. Buy cheap land from Horizon Properties. Come visit our head office in Woodlands on Chido Road, right opposite Woodlands 8 Primary School. Kablonga Shopping Complex, shop number 8, Chido Road, Lusaka. Lusaka Town Center on the alley behind Lusaka Hotel. Contact our Kablonga office on 0211-260422. Our town office 0211-226902. Horizon Properties. Real.
This is Property Focus, brought to you courtesy of Horizon Properties. Let me try and bring in Derek now, and let's talk about a few properties, maybe farmland or residential plots that you actually think are likely to appreciate in value quickly over the next year or two. I mean, people do count these years, and I know with these things, with the value does go up.
Indeed, no. So we have quite a number of residential sites that I would like to mention. But obviously, due to time, allow me to just mention a few of them that our listeners can consider in terms of buying into if they expect the value to appreciate in 1 or 2 years from now. So I'll start with our Lusaka West residential plots. No, this is a very good site, a very new site that just launched recently. These are 20 by 30 plots on title, just about 3.1 kilometer from the Westwood police post. Okay, so if you're driving around the Mumba Road, you know where Westwood police post is. You just actually branch off to your right and you just drive about 3.1 kilometers. You actually find this site. This site has power already on site, the plots are on title, and these plots, they are going for 65,000 kwacha. Okay, so you can imagine you are getting a 20 by 30 on title with power on site, just about 3 kilometers from the main Mumba Road, and you get it at 65,000 kwacha. Another site that I would like to mention is our Njolwe site. Okay, so Njolwe along the Repatsi Road now. So Njolwe site has got 20 by 30 plots as well. These plots are already on title, and our site is just about 7 kilometers from the main Repatsi Road. Okay, so if you are someone that is looking for a residential plot along the Repatsi Road, we have a site in Njolwe which has 20 by 30 plots on title, and this site is just about 7 kilometers from the main tarmac, and these plots are going for 100,000 kwacha. So you want a plot along the Repatsi Road and your budget is maybe 100, please come to Horizon Properties. We'll be able to actually allow you to secure a plot on title from our Njolwe site. From our Njolwe site, we also have a site in Kafue. Kafue is now on demand because a lot of people now are buying plots in Kafue. Those that are working in Lusaka, they're actually moving from Kafue to report for work in Lusaka and go back. So if you are looking for a plot in Kafue, we have actually a site in C7 area, that is Kafue Estates. These plots are 20 by 30 plots. They are on title and they're just about 50 meters from the tarmac, the nearest tarmac. Okay, so these plots are going for 75,000 kwacha. So if you're looking for a plot in Kafue and looking at the value of Kafue right now, this is the right time for you to actually secure a plot from our Kafue site at only 75,000 kwacha. So come through, will be able to actually help you to secure a plot in Kafue. Another site that I'd like to mention, Nono, is our Chiwombo site. Okay, so our Chiwombo site, as usual, it has got 20 by 30 plots that are on title, and this site is just about 1.5 kilometer from the Chiwombo Civic Center. So if you're looking for a residential plot in Chiwombo, please come to Horizon Properties. These plots are going for 45,000 kwacha. So if you're looking for a plot that is on title in Chiwombo, just about 1.5 kilometer from Chiwombo Civic Center, we do have plots in that area. I think another site that I would like to mention is our Stumbeko site. Like you mentioned, Nono, we're looking at areas that would actually increase in value maybe in 1 or 2 years from now. We have actually affordable plots in Stumbeko. So our Stumbeko site is actually located just about 17 kilometers from Mumbai. So there we've got two sizes of plots. We have got 50 by 50 plots that are on title going for 25,000 kwacha. Then we also have 1 acre plots. Those are going for 38,000 kwacha on title. So if you're looking for affordable plots in Stumbeko, we do have 50 by 50 plots going for 25,000 kwacha, as well as 1 acre portions going for 38,000 kwacha. Allow me to also mention, because you mentioned to say a year or two from now, I would like to also include the Green Village here, Nono. As you have always mentioned, the Green Village also has got two sizes of plots within the complex. We have the 20 by 22.5, those are going for 120,000 kwacha. And we also have the 30 by 30 plots going for 228,000 kwacha. For those that are listening to us for the first time, the Green Village is actually a gated community that is located in Silverest Extension, approximately about 20 kilometers from the airport roundabout if you're using the Great East Road. And it's just about 2 kilometers off the Great East Road. So those that are looking for plots in a well-secured environment where they can actually build their dream homes, we are actually presenting the Green Village to them, because this is a massive project and this is the future of Silverest. Please come to Horizon Properties and we'll help you to actually secure plots from the Green Village.
Now, since you've talked about Green Village, I think let me throw in this one because you've really started it. What makes the Horizon Green Village in Silverest Extension different from any typical housing developments on the market right now?
There are a lot of aspects, Nono, that I can mention, but allow me to mention that the Green Village is a gated community that appeals to actually the upper class of people, okay? But in the actual sense, it's more affordable across the board. This is what makes the Green Village unique. It is a complex that is ideal for government workers. It is a complex that is ideal for entrepreneurs. It's a complex that is ideal for the private sector in general, okay? Because our vision is to provide people with decent shelter and decent housing. So those that are looking for a gated community that is ideal across the board, the Green Village actually is suitable for that. But another point that I would like to mention, Nono, is that the Green Village is equally anchored on sustainability, because we understand that us as a generation, we also have a role to play in terms of combating the effects of climate change. Okay, so if you are looking for a gated community where a responsibility will be placed on you to act and preserve the environment, you are actually in the right place if you can buy in the Green Village, because we are looking at us preserving the environment, we are looking at us coexisting with nature. Okay, so if you buy into the Green Village, we are actually advocating that you should take a step forward for you to plant more trees, for you to make your environment green, for you to actually buy into the biodigester sewer management system, because we understand that these are measures that will give you an opportunity for you to actually fight the climate change. Another point that I would like to make mention, Nono, is that obviously by now a lot of us, by default, because of the load shedding, we are actually forced to buy solar panels and install solar. But I think that for the Green Village, it is actually part of the vision of Horizon Properties that people should be able to diversify in terms of energy. Okay, so if you buy into the Green Village, you need to consider other sources of energy. we're talking about solar, you're talking about wind, maybe you're talking about, of course, electricity itself, because it is there. But at least you should be able to know that as we move into the future, it may not just by because of the load shedding that we're experiencing, but what we envision as Horizon Properties is that we should reach a point where we should be able to embrace different sources of energy. And if you're buying into the Green Village, you have that opportunity to actually explore different sources of energy. Because when you come to the Green Village, you realize that people now are even installing solar geysers. Okay, so if you don't have electricity on your yard space, but you have a solar geyser, you can be able to actually utilize that and be able to have home water. So these are some of the issues that we're looking at, Nono. Another point that I would like to mention is because of the independence in terms of the water rectification system that we have actually embraced. We understand that a lot of compounds where we're coming from, we have an issue to do with water contamination. We have issues to do with poor planning in terms of the water sanitation that actually people have access to. But when you come to the Green Village, we have actually taken care of that, because people are not drilling bores there. No, there is nothing like, no, you have actually depleted the water table, so you no longer have access to water. I think for the Green Village, we have actually done the needful. We have actually embraced the independent water rectification system, where people now are actually able to connect. And obviously, we're not talking about giving free water. No, people are able to contribute, but at least they are guaranteed to have access to clean and safe water because of that vision that we have actually embraced in the Green Village. So due to time, I would like to just end there, but next time you give me an opportunity, I'll be able to actually mention a lot of things that sets the Green Village apart from other gated communities.
All right, thanks so much, Derek. Now, let's talk about incomplete houses, and I think this is something I did speak last week as well. There are people, obviously, who may be interested in buying property, but sometimes these houses are either, just the roof is missing, a few windows are missing, there's a wall fence that just needs to be covered on the house, or maybe the house just needs patching or painting. What options are currently available if someone wants to come to Horizon Properties today?
All right, Mr. Zaza, in that explanation and question, I think you've mentioned various stages of completion or incompletion, so to say. Well, let me start off with something that's kind of close to me a little bit, in the sense that I have an intimate understanding of this property. This is the 10 Miles 3-bedroom house that is, of course, on title on a 33 by 24 plot. This house, however, Mr. Zaza, as I said, we're in the incomplete section. So this is an incomplete 3-bedroom house on title, sitting, like I said, a 33 by 24 title plot. On this property, the plumbing has already been done and the soakaway is already done also. The property is located in a fast developing area, 1 kilometer off Mungule Road and 2 kilometers off Great North Road. The property is on title and is going at only 750,000 kwacha. If you go to our Facebook, what you're going to find when you find this property is that, one, it is roofed, and the main door, and at least I think the back door also has been placed. The burglar bars are already there on the windows, and just basically few minor touches to be done, and much, of course, the plastering has been done, and what is needed is obviously the ceiling and whatnot. But this is an extremely good property that is near completion. Percentage wise, I shall not speculate, but this is a property that you need to get on the ground and see. As mentioned, it's only 1 kilometer off Mungule Road, which is the third road, and 2 kilometers off Great North Road, and it's going at 750,000 kwacha only. A 3-bedroom house on title on a 33 by 24 plot in 10 miles. So another one that comes to mind is our Chilanga 4-bedroom incomplete house, which is basically at roof level. No roof. Yes. So this one does not have roof. However, it does have steel bars. I don't know the proper terminology that allow for the roof to be put on for most part of this house. So this house is mentioned, it's on roof level, and it's seated on a 63 by 40 titled plot. Again, this is a very, very generous amount, or rather size of plot. and it is in a developed neighborhood, 2.7 kilometers off the tarmac. The property already has roofing steel installed. Again, man, yeah, roofing steel. Yeah, they see timber. This is roofing steel, and is fenced on two sides and has Zesco power already connected to said structure. Muliwa caretaker, so obviously when you wanna come back, lights. So this 4-bedroom house in Chilanga, that is 2.7 kilometers off Kafue Road, it is going at 950,000 kwacha. Ukukwe ndiye panena punzila na word that picturesque, meaning it is very, very beautiful, or aesthetics as the, what generation are we in now? It's not Gen Z, is it? It's Gen Z?
We are in Gen Z.
Oh yeah, yes.
Sure.
It's aesthetically pleasing, as a Gen Z would say it. Then where would we move to now? Where would I move you to? I think let me move you to Minwood Kwamwena. Yes, in Minwood Kwamwena we have basically two houses sitting on one property, or rather sitting on one plot. This is a 20 by 30 plot that has been cut into two to occupy each house with a different yard space of fencing, so to say, privacy in other words. So these incomplete houses are at roof level, actually already roofed, each with its own private yard. Ndiye Jamanja and Takambat has been divided into two. The property is seated, as mentioned, on a 20 by 30 plot and is located in a developed neighborhood only 200 meters from the tarred road. So this house is going at only 1,750,000 kwacha only. That is 1,750,000 kwacha only. You get two properties that are of course on one plot, 2 bedrooms, each in its own fence, and basically just few minor touches here and there, and it is ready for occupation. Again, Mr. Zaza, I would like to stick around in Minwood Kwamwena. Here now, this is Minwood Kwamwena phase 4, where we have an incomplete 3-bedroom house sitting on a 20 by 30 corner plot that is on title, located 300 meters from the tarmac in a developed neighborhood. The house is perfectly safe to accommodate 2 or more structures on the same plot. The property is fenced on one side and power is already on site. So this is at roof level, meaning roof ikalpofakiwa, but it is in a developed neighborhood. And this 3-bedroom house in Minwood Kwamwena phase 4 is going at only 450,000 kwacha. Again, it's on title on a 20 by 30 plot that is a corner plot with a 3-bedroom structure on it in Minwood Kwamwena phase 4, going at 450,000 kwacha only. And then something came up that that really caught my attention, and I thought, you know what, I do need to bring it to Mr. Zaza and the populace's attention. This is in Woodlands Extension. We have an incomplete 4-bedroom house in a wall fence with a borehole and water tank sitting on a 30 by 40 titled plot. Again, very generous amount of plot. The property is located 200 meters off the tarmac, and it is going at 1,950,000 kwacha. Again, if you know the place, which is Woodlands, Ningakambe Apaka only. So it's 1.950 million kwacha going out, of course, in Woodlands Extension, an incomplete 4-bedroom house, 200 meters off the tarmac only. Again, something else that comes to mind is I would say Minwood Ibex / Maker Hotel area, where we have, of course, an incomplete 3-bedroom house on title, sitting again on a 30 by 40 plot, located in a serene and developed area near Mika Convention Center, about 500 meters off the tarmac, going at 1.5 million only. And this house is very, again, aesthetically pleasing. Most of the work has been done. The gate is, in my understanding, or rather in my opinion, fancy, and this is something that people really need to look into. And just to break protocol in the sense that one knows that incomplete houses, Mr. Zaza, something has come up in Charleston. However, it is on the complete side in that there are no touches that need to be done, unless of course you want to change up a few things. This is a 3-bedroom house sitting on a 24 by 30 titled corner plot, featuring the master self-contained bedroom, modern kitchen units, living room and dining area, borehole, overhead tank, and a paved yard. The property is located off Palm Drive along the tarmac. This property in Charleston is going at only 1.5 million kwacha. this is a complete house. Kuliba to know the roof is not there or whatnot. This is a complete house in Charleston on a 24 by 30 title corner plot. That, of course, you need to pay attention to, or rather take advantage of. The number to contact for these properties and more is 0977-800-203. I repeat the number. The number to contact for these properties and more is 0977-800-203.
All right. Adrian, a lot has been said on the show this evening. What are your closing remarks as we wrap up the program?
Okay, so a lot has been presented, like you said, of course, from doctors, of course, presentation and submission on the bill number 13, down to, of course, the properties presented from farmland, residential plots, and of course, incomplete structures, and the complete one that we can, of course, pushed in. What I would want to say is that what's given on the show is mostly reflection of what we have available for sale. And most of these properties, when you check on us next week, you realize to say maybe a few more are presented on the show. So this, of course, tells us one thing. Those that are still looking to sell and you don't know where to start from, Horizon Properties is definitely, of course, the place where you need to go to. And others may be wondering, how do I get in touch? Where do I find you guys?